Hi friends, today we're going to be talking about ants. Ants are super cool. So here's what's going to happen in our video today. We're going to learn some amazing ant facts, and then we're going to learn how to make an ant feast. Ants are amazing creatures. So ants are social insects, which means that they live together in big groups or colonies. So in these colonies, ants actually have different jobs. So there's some ants that are workers, and their job is to leave the nest and go find food and to help repair the nest and make tunnels to expand it. Then sometimes, depending on the type of ant, there are soldier ants, and their job is to protect the colony from invaders and outside and unwanted visitors. And then there's the queen ant, and her job is to make lots of ant babies to fill the colony with. So there's all sorts of jobs within just one ant colony. Another cool thing about ants is that they can lift objects that are 5,000 times heavier than their own body weight. So that would be like if a human could lift up a hippopotamus. Crazy. So ants use this super special strength to carry things like leaves or crumbs of food or even other dead insects to take back to their colony for food. And did you know that there are 10,000 different types of species of ants? That's a lot of different types of ants. There are some really cool ants that live in our world. So there are ants like leafcutter ants that are actually farmers. So they use leaves to farm fungus that they eat inside their very own colonies. So they were farming even before humans had discovered how to do it. Pretty cool. There are also some types of ants that farm aphids, kind of like we farm cattle. And so they herd these aphids and milk them to drink this honeydew sugary substance that they create. Pretty cool. Another type of ant that you may have heard of is called a fire ant. Fire ants can sting and it really hurts. And sometimes fire ants will swarm different small creatures like mice or even tarantulas, depending on where they live, and they will eat those creatures. Isn't that crazy? Ants are so small, but when they work together, they can do crazy big things. Okay, so for today's activity, we're gonna need a piece of paper, maple syrup or honey or something otherwise sticky and sweet that ants would like to eat, and then a pencil. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your piece of paper and you can design a cool picture or a shape or words or whatever you want on your paper. All right, and the idea is that then you'll use this as a guide for where you'll put your syrup or honey. So now that we have our cool design, I'm gonna take my maple syrup and I'm gonna use it to outline my design. So a couple of notes here before we get started. If you use maple syrup, it can come out pretty fast, so you're gonna wanna be careful. And if you're using honey, it can come out kind of slow, so keep that in mind as well. The other important thing to keep in mind is that these are just difficult mediums to work with in the first place. So if things don't end up perfect in your design, it's not a big deal because the ants are still gonna think it's delicious. So I'm gonna take my maple syrup and I'm gonna use it to make my design on my paper. Whoop. All right, ooh, looking good and spirally. Now I'm gonna go back and just add in a little bit because the more syrup or honey you have on your picture, the more ants you're gonna be likely to attract. There we go, looking good. All right, so there is our cool spiral design. So now that we have that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and find a great place to put it and leave it for the ants to come find it. All right. So when you're looking for your spot to put your ant buffet, I recommend A, that you put it away from your house, and then B, try and find a place where lots of people aren't gonna walk so no one accidentally steps on it. So once you've found your spot, you're going to gently put your design on the ground. And then the next part is probably the hardest part of all of this. Now you just wait.
As you can see from this picture, some ants definitely found the feast that we left out for them. While you're observing your ants that are feasting away on your honey or maple syrup buffet, some cool things that you can observe about ant behavior is how they communicate with one another. Ants communicate with one another in several different ways. Through scent, using chemicals called pheromones, through touch, and even body language and sound. So when you're watching your ants, see if you can spot them communicating. One of the main ways that ants communicate using scent or pheromones is through their antennas. So ants will take the pheromones and spread them either on a path or to other ants using their antennas. Pretty cool stuff. So as you're waiting for your ants, just an FYI, it might take a little bit of time for them to find it. If you've waited for a while and you haven't seen any ants show up, I'd recommend moving it around and trying out different spots. But most importantly, just be patient, because it might take some time for your local ants to come find the wonderful buffet you've set out for them.
Well, friends, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've had fun learning about ants today and making your ant buffets. If you want to show us what you've created, you can send us an email at office@imagoearth.org and share your cool creations with us. Thanks so much, and don't forget to check out the cool extra challenges and videos in the instruction page. Bye, friends!